The lie you've been told about attraction. Let me ask you this. Why is it that some men, not rich, not tall, not even that good-looking, still draw attention everywhere they go? Meanwhile, others do everything right, dress sharp, hit the gym, memorize pickup lines, and still get ignored? Here's the truth no one tells you. You've been sold a lie. Attraction isn't about the way you look. It's not about what you say. It's about who you are. You can't fake presence. You can't pretend confidence, and you definitely can't trick a woman into respecting you. But here's the real kicker. There are two words that change everything. Two ancient words that come from the Stoic masters, not dating gurus. Words that made emperors magnetic, and they still work today. Because here's what Stoic men understood. They didn't chase women. They didn't beg for attention. They lived with purpose, discipline, and self-respect. That's what made them powerful. That's what made them attractive, without trying. So if you're tired of chasing, if you're done feeling invisible, and if you're ready to be the kind of man people notice without needing to impress them, then this video is for you. Let's start. The modern male dilemma. Why so many men feel lost. Look around. So many men today feel stuck. They feel like something's missing, but they can't quite name it. They're not weak. They're not lazy. They're just disconnected from who they are, from what they believe, from what it actually means to be a man. Society keeps telling them to be nice, to fit in, to not offend anyone. At the same time, it mocks masculinity. It calls strength toxic. It shames ambition. It tells men to suppress their instincts and then blames them for being unmotivated. So what happens? Men retreat. They scroll. They play it safe. They avoid risk. And deep down, they wonder, why don't I feel alive? Here's the truth Stoicism teaches. Comfort is a slow death. You weren't made to sit back and blend in. You were made to build, to endure, to lead, starting with yourself. But most modern men are at war with themselves. They crave approval from women they don't even respect. They measure their worth by likes, messages, and body count. They fear rejection more than they fear regret. And it's not their fault. They've been conditioned to believe that being attractive means being impressive. But Stoic men know better. They don't try to impress. They try to align with their values, their mission, their truth. That's what draws people in, not the act, but the authenticity. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real and grounded in something deeper than trends and attention. So here's the question. Are you living for others, or are you building a life you actually respect? Because the moment you stop chasing validation is the moment people start noticing you, not for what you do, but for who you are. And that shift, that's where power begins. With the two words that change everything. Here they are, the two words that have shaped warriors, philosophers, emperors, and they might just change your life too. Control yourself. That's it. Not flashy, not poetic, just brutally simple and completely life-altering. Because let's be honest, most men today are not in control. They're ruled by emotions, by urges, by whatever their phone tells them to care about today. They get mad when ignored. They get anxious when they're not liked. They chase women not because they truly desire them, but because they need someone to make them feel worthy. Stoicism flips that on its head. It says, master yourself or be mastered. Control your mind. Control your reactions. control your cravings, and suddenly, you become dangerous in the best way. Why? Because a man who controls himself is unpredictable. He's not needy. He doesn't get manipulated. He can walk away from anything that doesn't serve him, and that makes him magnetic. Women can feel it. They sense when a man isn't desperate for them. And ironically, that's when they're drawn in the most. Because deep down, we all want to be around people who are in charge of themselves. Think of Marcus Aurelius. He ruled an empire, but never let power own him. He wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's Stoic attraction. It's not about trying to get someone to want you. It's about becoming someone you'd want to follow. And it all begins with those two words: control yourself. Before you speak, pause. Before you react, breathe. Before you act out of fear, ask yourself, am I acting out of emotion or out of principle? That space between impulse and response, that's where your power lives. Most men never claim that power, but you can. And when you do, people notice. Women notice. Because in a world full of noise, the man who is calm stands out. In Living the Stoic Way, how to be magnetic without trying. So how do you live like a Stoic man? It's not about quoting Marcus Aurelius or wearing a toga. It's about how you show up. Every day, in small choices, in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. Let's break it down. Shakya Surni Korni 1. Control your reactions. Bad day? Someone disrespects you? Most guys explode or shut down. A Stoic breathes, then responds with clarity. Calm is power, and people feel it. 2. Be purpose-driven. Stop drifting. A man without purpose is like a ship with no rudder. He goes wherever the waves take him. Pick something to build, to learn, to fight for. Your direction speaks louder than your words. 3. Detach from outcome. Did she text back? Did they like your post? Forget it. Do your best and let go of the rest. You're not defined by what happens. You're defined by how you respond to what happens. 4. Own your space. Not just physically or emotionally. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't apologize for your presence. Just be grounded. People trust someone who's centered. 5. Speak less, mean more. A Stoic doesn't talk to fill silence. He speaks with intention. Women notice this because it shows thought, self-control, and presence. These habits build what Stoics call inner citadel, a fortress inside you. It can't be shaken by rejection, failure, or chaos. And when you walk through the world with that energy, people feel it. You don't have to prove anything. You just are. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing attraction, you start becoming attractive. It's not a trick. It's not a tactic. It's who you've become. So if you want to stand out, start within. You don't need more lines. You need more stillness, more men self-respect, more men discipline. And the rest, it takes care of itself. Real-world examples. Stoic men women are drawn to. Let's look at some real men who live by Stoic principles and why women find them magnetic. Restraint 1. The leader who listens. Think of a man who doesn't need to dominate conversations. He listens more than he talks. He's calm under pressure. People naturally respect him. This isn't about arrogance. It's about self-control. He's confident enough to let others speak because he's secure in himself. Women notice that kind of strength. It's rare and powerful. 2. The man with purpose. This is the guy who wakes up with a mission. Whether it's building a business, mastering a skill, or serving his community, he's focused. He doesn't seek validation on social media or from every woman he meets. His energy is invested in what matters. That focus creates an aura of passion and drive that's incredibly attractive. 3. The calm in chaos. When life gets messy, deadlines, conflicts, family drama, he stays composed. He doesn't let emotions control him. This calmness feels safe. Women want to be around someone who can handle storms without losing himself. 4. The man who owns his mistakes. No one's perfect, but a Stoic man admits when he's wrong, learns fast, and moves on. He doesn't blame others or make excuses. This maturity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of attraction. These men don't rely on tricks or flashy moves. They attract because they're authentic, they're steady, they're real. That's the power of Stoicism. It's not about changing who you are, it's about being the best version of yourself. Grounded, disciplined, and in control. And that's magnetic. Repeat "I'm enough" with a new energy. You said it before. I'm enough. Maybe you didn't believe it the first time. Maybe it felt like just words, but now, say it again. Say it with stillness, with strength, with control. Because here's the truth. You don't need approval to be valuable. You don't need someone to complete you. You don't need the world to clap before you feel worthy. You are enough because you decided to be. Not enough to stop growing, not enough to settle, but enough to stand tall, speak less, and move with purpose. That's the new energy, still grounded, still humble, but unshakably sure. That kind of self-respect, it can't be faked, and people can feel it without you saying a word. It's not about arrogance, it's about inner alignment. When your actions match your values, when your self-talk is clean, when your standards are clear, you radiate quiet power. So today, whisper it again. I'm enough. Say it until it stops sounding like a mantra and starts feeling like truth. Let that be your baseline. Not to impress, but to express. To show up fully without needing validation from anyone. That's the Stoic shift. That's when everything changes. Life lessons through the Stoic lens. Let's step back. What did we really learn here? That attraction isn't something you beg for. It's something you become. That power doesn't come from dominating others. It comes from mastering yourself. And that life, like love, is unpredictable. But your response? That's always yours to own. The Stoics taught this clearly. You can't control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. You will be rejected. You will be doubted. You will face failure, heartbreak, loneliness. But those moments don't define you. Your discipline does. And the man who holds his values, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, that man becomes rare. That man becomes magnetic. So here's the deepest lesson. You don't rise by being liked. You rise by becoming solid inside. Every breath of restraint, every moment of presence, every time you walk away from something shallow to stand for something deeper, you grow. Maybe not in ways others can see, but in ways that reshape your identity. That's the quiet revolution of Stoicism. And it leads to a life where you no longer chase, because you've already become what they're looking for. And the final lesson, own yourself, attract naturally. Here's what everything boils down to. Attraction isn't a trick. It's not a line or a routine. Attraction is who you are, deep down behind all the noise. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. Your power comes from self-mastery. Control your mind, control your emotions, control your actions. When you do that, you don't chase anyone. You don't beg for attention. You become someone others want to be around. That's real confidence, that's true strength, and it's available to anyone willing to do the work. So here's my challenge to you. Start small. Master one moment of control each day. Pause before you react. Choose purpose over comfort. Build your inner fortress brick by brick. Because the moment you own yourself, you own your world. And the women you want to attract, they'll notice. Not because you tried to impress, but because you became unshakable. If you're ready to start that journey, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Remember, the two magic words are simple. Control yourself. Master that, and watch everything change.